intro. Like, come on, man. Wait, what that say? I don't know why that music not coming up. Y'all can hear me there?
Chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, studying everything.
I don't know why the music not coming up today.
I can hear it.
You can hear it?
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. I think they lost the
Usually I
got
can't
some
hear it.
shooters.
Right. I don't hear that joint today. That's crazy.
Off the hip. Chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, studying everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walking out there ain't a big smile, or handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait. I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow. It's off the hip.
Really, actually dope that fucking intro. I'm be real.
Stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out there in a big smile.
That boy HD was trying to fit right there. Corporate. He's trying to punch that bloodline shit bad.
Low key.
I'm mad I ain't got no lighter. You don't have no lighter.
Word.
Chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out there, read a big
Chat, we here. Unwelcome doors off the hip. With my brother Razor, my brother Snake Eyes, man. What it do, fellas?
Got a friend of man.
Come on.
Oh, what's up? We here.
How y'all feeling today, man?
Man,
Amazing.
thanks. Bro, great day. Today I did good, man. Remember that Gunner song? That's how I feel today, man. Yeah, today was a good day, man. Thanks, bro.
Nah, it definitely was. Today was a blessing of a day. Shout out to my man Snake Eyes, man, with some special projects coming up. Y'all gotta stay tuned to see what's going on. I'll be honest.
Back.
Stay tuned.
Back. Crazy. I mean, we here though, man. I feel like we missed a day, but we missed an episode. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? We come back.
Right.
One SmackDown all feel like a lifetime. Not gonna lie.
We here though. What we getting into today, man? What's
Monday Night Raw? I mean, the main event tonight, the coming into tonight, the main topic was gonna be Heartbreaker, Sami Zayn. That was a highlight of tonight. I feel like also there was some other things going on, American Made versus American Alpha. You know what I'm saying? But there's some other things going on. Raw started off Rhea Ripley, you know what I'm saying? I like that video package too. I ain't gonna lie. To start off Raw, I like how they did that video package. Like just to remind
Nigga, wasting no time. Let's go.
tell me like they ain't wasting no time. Like
Yeah.
Cheers, brother.
Get it. Let me take my shot on that one.
Back. Be one of them nice.
I felt like I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna just shoot off the hip right here. I'm not a fan of like Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest being the babyface, but I get it. Somebody got to be the babyface in the story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like what I text Razor though. I kind of wish that they were still in that tweener phase. What I mean by so for the folks that don't know what tweener means, like that in between phase where like they heels but they baby faces. I'm concerned that they going down the too smiley baby face route. Especially, I'm more concerned with Damian Priest than I am with Rhea. But
How so?
I just hope it don't go back to that United States like vibe where he was just smiling all the time. Like I felt like I don't know if it was the move in the ring tonight when he got into the match with Carlito, but he had a moment where he was winding up for the kick and he kind of like I don't know if it was a smile or like one of those mean grimaces, but like again, I enjoyed a bunch of what he was doing with the Judgment Day. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, and a bunch of it what he was doing was as a heel. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what Damian Priest can do as a. Again, let's be clear. For me, I'm again shooting off the hip. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley haven't had their best work as faces. So it's gonna be interesting to see
Oh, what about round 2 against Charlotte,
what when
where she beat Charlotte at Mania?
she won. Yeah, then yeah, but
I'm
I
pretty
still
sure.
listed. I still had her as a heel because I felt, but yeah, she was a
Mm,
baby face going into that match. Yeah, but I felt like I knew the Judgment Day. It's supposed to make them dark. See, that's that tweener. Like right there, she was a tweener to me.
okay, but I think with Rhea's given popularity, it's going to be a long time before she's anything remotely close to a heel, unless you put her in with a Jade, maybe a Bianca, or even a Charlotte again.
Are
Because
they
I
really
think
being baby faces, or is it just they like just like product of like the
The
situation? Like
circumstance.
people, yeah, like people are rooting for Rhea because they feel like she got done dirty between Dom. People are rooting for Damian Priest because he held Rhea down when she was going. You know what I'm
I feel
saying?
like this part of that too.
You feel what I'm saying? Like I feel like people agree to that part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like Rhea just got fans off that. You know what I'm saying? Like feel sorry, like you know what I mean, type vibes. I think they still who they is, but it's undeniable that you know what I mean. Rhea is a people's person. You know what I mean? People love her. I feel like Damien came in with business today. He wasn't smiling or nothing. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you skipped over the whole beginning segment. That whole beginning segment, brother, with Liv Dom and all them. You know what I
so
mean?
no,
Damien
that's what I was
Priest.
gonna get. That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
get to. Like that's why I wanted to ask about how I feel like Rhea Ripley's promo today. Like
Yeah.
she's giving off the baby face. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I get the whole vibe, and that's why I'm just in question. Like, is it just for this feud? Because I feel like going forward, they're gonna keep them this way.
I don't want to see them continue to hug after every time they beat somebody down. Like I don't need to see Davian and Rhea hug after every beat down. Like night one, the first night when they did it last week, it was like, "I we get it." It's like, yeah, we hold each other down. Today was unacceptable. They didn't need to hug like that. They should have just talked their shit to the crowd. Like, why did they hug?
After Get Out.
Yeah, like I don't. It's little shit. Like let's
Right?
not have them
Because
hug every week. Like
like you
you know what I
said,
mean?
right? We had Rhea Ripley start off in the ring, and then
Yeah.
Liv Morgan interrupts her with Dom, which I thought was phenomenal. By the fan area,
Hmm.
Rhea goes on to say, "You should be careful because we can hear when you talk." Liv is they like, what? What you mean we can hear? Then you just see Damian Priest right behind that. That camera angle, everything was shot phenomenal right there, in my opinion. Then they started brawling.
Can we
Well,
just
let's go into the back and forth of the promos. Let's go into
But
that real quick.
how you felt about that?
yeah, I just want to say Dom and Liv look better than Dom and Rhea. Let's just get that out the way.
Mm.
They made the right choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like I ain't gonna lie. I did catch this stuff in a segment. Something that Liv said. I thought she got a little too cute. You know what I mean? When she like, because at the end of the day, Dom thing is like you try to demand, like you try to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not treat me as a man, like I'm calling you mommy, like you know what I'm saying? Like I need somebody that make me feel like a man, you know what I'm saying? But then at the same time though, it's like Liv could be low key, like you feel what I'm saying? I took everything from you. Like, look, it's like, do you really fuck with my mans? Or is this shit just some like, you know what I mean? Like, damn, man. Ah, Other than that, just that couple that's them together on camera, just the visual of them on camera doing a promo at Rhea now is like Rhea in the ring is like fire. Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, I
See, you
mean,
ain't got nothing wrong with Dom telling Rhea. She gives me attendees or whatever the fuck you said.
yeah,
I
chicken
think
tender.
I think for Dom, when he was paired with Rhea early, he had success with the North American title. I think it made him more of a serious competitor in the ring with Liv. I think it's more like building this, and I don't think it's intentional, but we starting to see like some comedic stuff. He said the tendies, right? Like, we getting some laughter out of him right there. I didn't like what Rhea Ripley tried to defend the point of, oh, she let Dom on his own so that he could try to beat Rey Mysterio. Like, I don't know,
Yeah, that's a
like,
little corny.
I told you that was a main point. That dad victory, that shit meant more to him being that Ray on that Friday night
mhm.
than with Rhea. You know what I
I just
mean?
didn't like how Rhea tried to finesse it, especially
Yeah.
trying to, like, playing the role she's in right now. It just felt like a little weird, but I don't know. I think like Liv is the star right now in this whole thing, and I was asking you that too, right, Snakes? I was like, did Liv, like what Liv is doing right now? Did it kill a little bit of Rhea's like appeal to us? Like some of us still have Rhea there, like she's still mommy, no doubt. But now you got an option, you got something else. As to where for like a whole year, Rhea Ripley was just running roughshod. There was no other option.
I'm looking at it in the manner of we are potentially watching Dom become the second coming of Eddie Guerrero as we speak. From the way he talks with his confidence, with his machismo, the way he moves in the ring now, his slick tongue.
That nigga went double hill.
Crazy.
Nigga went double hill. He was already hill with Hiller. Like Dom.
He is without a doubt the number one heel in professional wrestling right now.
Fact. Them together, Liv and Dom is definitely more powerful than Rhea, whatever she be doing. You know what I'm
There's
saying?
clearly a lot more
Like,
potential.
yeah, like right now, Liv got the juice. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at it. Like everything Liv said she was gonna do in that prevent sort of this is the results of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Rhea, and she like, look at you. You ain't got nothing. Like, you just there. You ain't got no family. You ain't got nothing. You just in the ring, like sure as shit. Like, look at me though. I got your belt. I got your man. I got your squad. Like, ain't nothing. Like, Liv is trying to like end Rhea career. Look, key trying to pack her up, sit her down. Rhea got to fight back, bad.
So
And one
on,
thing is a real
on
thing is how the people view shit. So if you seeing this HD, if you seeing that this whole mystique of Rhea, like, feel like it's fading because what Liv doing, like other people gonna start seeing that shit too. Trust me.
Yeah, because it feels like again, like I said, we're in the generation. Let's just be honest, where everybody wants something new, right? Whether it's a new
Mhm.
verse, whether it's a new whatever, we just want fucking new. So, like I said, having mommy for a whole year was great. We love her, but now we got Liv. Wow, the Liv Morgan revenge tour. Like, whoa, she's giving us a little, and that's different from what she's been doing her whole career. One could argue almost the same, but she took it up a notch, a whole couple notches. You know what I'm saying? I
Do
even
gotta
we
like
keep
what.
up.
are
Rhea
Go ahead, yeah.
almost caught Dom slipping. She almost
That's what
hit
I
some
was gonna
shit
get
we
to.
ain't see in a long time.
That,
We
yep.
fighting the girls now. They fighting niggas. Like, all right, I see where we going. Like, yeah.
I mean, Damian Priest was looking at Liv like he wanted to attack her first. When he was standing
Yeah.
behind both of them, he's just staring at her like. And then they get the scrapping in the back, him and Dom, and then Liv jumps on Damian again.
so I'm glad we're on this topic. You guys saw that they announced we're getting a mixed tag match in Berlin. Now, the last time we saw men going against women in a match was Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins, where Becky took the was it the deep six, something like that.
Mhm.
Could we see something like we're gonna sell it that in Berlin regardless, but like I'm gonna say it for a minute. Dom might be get his blood drawn at the hands of Rhea Bloody Ripley,
Yo, Liv getting south to heaven is crazy.
I think
or
it has
even
to
the
happen.
Razor's Edge.
It has to happen, bro.
Yo,
It
We're
has
gonna,
to
Liv,
happen.
we're gonna get some shit.
that would be crazy if he's south to heaven. Liv.
She's gonna fly.
Yeah, like that ass. I'm just thinking about that movie all the way. Yeah, like, yeah,
Now
but
the
nah, they
classic
teasing at that though. Like Rhea definitely gonna catch. Like you know what I'm saying? They teasing at that. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, I didn't even know that was a confirmed match, but we need to
they
get back.
announced it in the third hour somewhere in there
Oh yeah, we got to come
during
back at
the
some
damage
point in this
control.
show and talk about how they kind of forced in this match, bro, and shit. They just tossed this shit together, low key, in my opinion. Like they just
Now
forced this
some of it kind of makes sense. There's one thing on that card that I absolutely can't stand, but again, we'll see how they go. They got a couple weeks, but it's a long shot right now. I have no faith in
one.
it at all, and that's the KO Cody match.
Wow.
You could have threw in maybe a mellow talking shit like get slick to mouth real quick. You could have tossed Logan Paul for one off before Rumble or whatever. Anything
Man, you could have just gave us Kevin Oliver, Tonga Lord, man.
or anything, but also
You giving us
like I told you
Cody
guys
Rhodes versus KO? You trying to sell us that?
for the world title.
KO, you need some new shit invented. You need to reinvent yourself. That's what it is. KO is about time you reinvent yourself. Everybody in the roster is doing different things. LA Knight got pyro. Everybody got some shit. You still then walking out like
But
mad angry, bro.
but
You need
but,
something else, man. You need to cut your head bald or something. I don't know what you need to do, but you need to do something, Kevin Owens.
aside from him wearing that suit that one week and those few weeks with Jericho, he's been the same cat for 20 years.
No,
And
for real, he
Cody's
has.
lost all his baby face power to one man,
Especially, and again, let's be honest. Should we be surprised by that? I don't think so.
bro. But I don't even think he understood what it was gonna be like
Much
until that thing
how
came
big
back.
this was going to
Yeah,
be.
like y'all really just like wow, nah.
But I'll think about it. It's very similar to what Cena told Reigns back in 2015. I'm still here because you can't do your job.
I'm crying.
But I digress with that. SmackDown. This was definitely one of the more lackluster ones for the year.
Yeah,
Kudos to Raw today for trying to make up for all that or the lack thereof. Because damn it, they tried to make up for what SmackDown couldn't give us.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. For a 3 hour Raw today, though, I didn't really think that this. I think we took a step back, but again, I gotta understand that WWE is year long. That's one. Two, after they built the type of momentum they did just at SummerSlam, we kind of gotta expect a little cool down, which is Bash and
We're
Rumble.
getting there, yeah.
Yeah, you know
Man,
what I'm saying?
you'll kickstart some of it bad blood for Survivor Series, but
sometimes
honestly,
it's a bad thing when they take a week off to probably make sure the next 2 weeks is great. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
like I
keep
just
some
think it's
momentum.
bad. Yeah, like you already know. It's just like just figuring out like what are we actually going with the shit that we got. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is just one of those weeks where we just chilling, just cruising. We're gonna show y'all
And
Odyssey Jones. We're gonna you know what I mean? Like checkerboard outfit. Like we're gonna get to that. Like I hate when they do this to our people, bro. Coming in with these tight ass outfits. Like why he had to have that on? Like come
but
on, man. Like, covers it
real quick,
no other way. Think could have wore a sweat outfit or something. This nigga wearing this tight ass checkerboard shit. Like come on, like
but one last
can't
thought on the
tell me that.
momentum thing.
Talk about the
You can
Odyssey.
keep.
Yeah, you can't tell me that. Odyssey, like come on, this nigga's big as hell. This tight ass outfit on. Come on.
But one last thought on the whole momentum thing. Like, if you do take a week off all that, that's what we have folks in the wings or all these other stories that we kind of put on hold. Ease those back in. Like I said, the Andrade and Santos thing had potential, but they kind of pissed it away because of
No,
LA had to intervene
that
before
shit
that.
that shit had me tight. I ain't gonna lie.
That had potential of being something, but I feel like they kind of pissed that one away already.
Cause
Right.
they took just to like not get too much into SmackDown, but kind of what we was talking about, the whole momentum that Andrade had over Carmelo. They just slapped that, like you said, pistol over that. And then also pistol over what could have been Andrade versus Santos. You know what I'm saying? They used that as a little ploy right there to
And
enhance.
out the blue, the winner gets LA Knight.
Yeah, like, man, yeah.
So we
That
didn't get
was,
main event Jey Uso today.
yeah. We got him
We
right
can't,
before Sami Zayn.
Okay, I
but
missed.
but
Yeah,
but I thought I hope the main event would have been like a whole third hour. That way it gives Braun. I mean, yeah, it could have been a little bit pressure on Braun, but again, it'd have been the exposure he needed. That way you have him. He's going to keep the ratings regardless of Stan because it's going to be a solid back and forth. And with 2 out of 3 falls matches, if you give it a limited time like they did tonight, we kind of know what's going to happen already.
yeah.
But what are you going to do? They're trying to catch everything else. We have a new name for the women's trios in the Pure Fusion Collective. HG
I'm not.
Space says it all.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that because I feel like it's too many like too many
So
syllables, too much. It's just too much.
you know what that took me back to when I heard that name? You remember the Divas Revolution? We got PCB, Team Bad. I forgot what the third name was, but it took me back to that.
They had to cut it down to acronyms. Facts. And that
And
I
you had
say
to be chanting the acronym during the match.
the crowd cannot chant their name, and maybe it's not designed for that because they're a heel faction. But if at one point, any point, it's the
You're
pure
gonna hear
heart.
PFC, PFC.
Right.
But again, we've heard worse, unfortunately.
Yeah, I wasn't really. I don't know. Like, I'm glad they put a name to them. Like, we've seen a few developments to some tag teams today, like, or factions, maybe both, if you will. We seen the development with them. We seen the American Made finally get their little the package. Remember the what would you call it, the Titantron now, or the big screen when they come out that has
They
their
know this
graphics?
time?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So remember last week it just said Chad Gable.
I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, this week they actually got and they got their name American Made. I'm like, okay, cool. Even though
Okay.
Gable wasn't there today, but they actually got a rollout. I'm like, all right, cool.
But they're trying at least, so we'll give them that.
Yeah, so there's a few things happening out there. You know what I'm saying? They started off the night though for Raw with Carlito, and that first segment that we talked about led into Carlito and Priest. Like,
But real quick, when did Carlito get hurt? Because he had a shoulder brace on today.
yo, Carlito's gears just distracted to me. I'm gonna be honest.
The 2 different shoes, the shoulder brace. Like, bro, what was you doing?
The sweatpants, the high water sweatpants, like I'm just like, I don't
Like,
know.
did you show him late to the fucking media and shit, or were you taking the shit when Michael Hayes was running down the corridor? What the fuck?
I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. He just had the drawstrings just hanging out the
Yeah.
sweats. Just like fuck it, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Those just was mad long. So I'm like, that's crazy. Like, so I mean, to me though, like Priest matches aren't bad. I just again the momentum he had from Gunther, you would want to continue to see that dominance.
I'd rather have him go up against maybe a Sheamus, a Randy Orton, Ilya, someone of that. Someone's already built the huge that momentum on him. So when he does get that rematch, all right, he's ready to go.
So that I mean, it was kind of that moment. So he gets to win Judgment Day, or what was the Judgment Day, right? We don't know their name. If they're gonna keep the Judgment Day, Michael Cole said the new Judgment Day. Like I don't know what's their name going before they attack Priest. Rhea Ripley made the save, kick Carlito in the nuts, and now we get in that moment, right? Finn Balor, there's nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide.
I did like where they went with this part.
JD though.
Took a
JD.
bullet.
Yep. JD took. And I ain't gonna lie. The timing of that was just. I was like, okay, that was dope right there. Like,
That was nice.
yeah.
As Mike was saying, he got that big ass head, that big ass heart you can't miss, even if you're Stevie Wonder.
I feel like the opening segment that they had leading up and what happened after, I could have went with not so much the match. Match, I could have not did with the match. The match,
Right.
I could have sat there and been like, all right, well, you know what I'm saying? This was again for no reason when I'm trying to see Damian Priest be dominant. Carlito, he got to kind of earn his stripes again. So I'm not really like, you know what I'm saying? It was a weird match. Again, I understand though. He's part of the Judgment Day, but it was what it was. We get on to Snake's favorite segment of the night
Whoa,
though.
time out, time out, time out, time out. Are we gonna just brush past the spot after the Finn Balor spot? Again, it goes
Uh,
back to the I don't know if it was this or beforehand, but you get the hug in the middle, and then Dom tries to snake
oh
Rhea
yeah, that's right.
from the top
And
rope,
and
and then
Damien
Danny
catches
catches
him.
them for the choke slam, throws him right to Rhea. Rhea goes to Riptide. Liv makes the save.
Man, that's right. Can't believe I forgot about that. 'Cause I actually had that on my mind, but I was saving it to get back
I just
to
want
it.
to say something. Liv be on time. Liv don't be playing about. Listen, if you don't ride for me, how Liv ride for Dom, I don't want you. I'm gonna come clean. If you don't ride for me, how Liv ride for did it all. I don't need you. I'm good. That's all.
So
I'm not.
again,
Yeah,
that
that
was a
was
beautiful
fire though.
sequence. And then that's also what set up the mixed tag match. I'm very looking forward to in a couple weeks in Berlin. But personally, I don't want us to miss that because that was a very interesting sequence.
No, you're right. And it was yeah, when it happened, I was like, oh, I said the same thing you said. I didn't interpret it like he tried to attack Priest. I was like, oh no, he tried to hit Rhea.
That was Rhea.
Yeah, like after the hug, they kind of spun and he just crept on the top rope and I thought he was gonna the camera work was so well that I really thought Dominic was gonna hit that cross body splash on them or whatever he was
It
gonna
was
attempt.
close.
And then Damian Priest just sticks out his arm and catches him. I'm like, yeah, nah, that's magnificent right there. So that's a good call right there. Not letting me skip by that because again, at that moment too, me and Snake, I was watching this and he called it. He's like, oh, there's gonna be a tag team match.
But again,
And
we thought something maybe bad blood, but we're gonna get something from Berlin too. So I'm all for it.
yeah, I hope that it's not one of these situations like,
Bad blood will
yes,
be Finn Damien.
We'll,
Bad
we'll
blood
get
is
to
gonna
that.
be Finn Damien. Right now it's gonna be, you know what I mean, the 2-2 with with the Wolf. And look, we don't even know when like Rhea's gonna get another title shot. Like, you know what I'm saying? As far as for Liv shit or whatever the case. Liv got the last dub.
Finn gonna come help them at Berlin. He gonna help
We'll
Dom
get to
and
that.
Liv.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that once we get to the stuff for the main
Now,
event. Because I got
JD is
some.
getting thrown in harm's way a lot. I don't know if JD is gonna feel away at some point. Like, fam, you like this your man's. You just letting him get cracked out there. You just leaving the ring. Like, what's up with that? No, JD ain't gonna keep going for that. But you know, other than that, I do feel like Finn got a plan, and I feel like Finn is a very dangerous brother. And I'm
Mm.
rocking with Finn in this feud, even though these the baby faces. I'm rocking with Finn in them. I'm rocking with Finn in that.
You
Fuck
guys
out
are
of
getting
here,
to see
Priest.
the brains
Doing the money in the
behind.
bank. You was doing the most. You was doing the most with that money in the bank. We ain't forget. You was doing the most. Fucking up Finn work. Fucking up his work. Fucking up his food. He's doing a lot. We ain't forget. Finn got a point. People try to gross over that point. Finn has a point. Everybody want to be babyface, babyface. Finn has a point, y'all. What did
And
Finn ever
Snake
say to him?
you were. You are now about to witness a sample of the genius that was the founder and creator of the Bullet Club. I'm
Right.
gonna just leave that tidbit there.
By the way, we got a whiny winker guy in the ring today. We're gonna get to him. I don't know. Can you give me we need a career rundown on Mr. Whiny Winker. I don't know who was fighting Odyssey Jones, but Whiny Winker. If you got a resume on this dude, I would never question nothing about wrestling ever with you ever in life again if you got a resume for this dude. That nigga's a community creation player. That nigga that was in the ring with Odyssey Jones is a community creation guy.
Vincent Whiny.
Vincent Whiny. They got one punch off and lost. Just crazy.
Hey,
Good time.
you remember you,
Like a
you remember
anarchy
you
guy.
remember the 2K story
Anarchy.
mode? Local wrestler, whatever. That's what he was. Or if you saw the up down down Battle of Brands, the local yokel.
Oh man. Okay. Hold on. So I'm getting word. Vincent Whiny is a gentleman from the Performance Center. Now, is he under contract? I'm not sure.
If he's up for the PC, he's either an NIO guy or he's been in the system for a minute, but probably an NIO kid that they see something in. So we should probably remember his face.
Yeah, for now we're gonna find out this nigga was a security guard for Stephanie. We're gonna be like, this the whole time was around. We didn't see this
Vincent
nigga.
Whiny.
Oh no! It'll be one of those. You remember that match where they had the fucking zombies, the lumberjacks, the Walking Dead match? He was probably one of those zombies.
Bro, that name gotta be a rib right there, bro. Whiny. My boy Vincent Whiny. Like, chill. That's
What?
crazy.
That nigga's in WWE 2K right now. Overall 72. Like,
Now I'm not gonna lie, this match made me feel like classic enhancement match.
Yeah.
And kind of like Snake said, I wasn't in favor of Odyssey Jones's presentation. Like, this dude got the size of a Mark Henry, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you want to have him do some sexual chocolate shit, then that's cool. I'm not seeing sexual chocolate. I'm not seeing that. Now his moveset is kind of is different. He could definitely fucking go out there. He can move for a big guy. He can move, but I think his presentation, bro, he's a giant, bro. Dude's a giant.
But you know who else is a giant that kind of fits a similar bill? A gentleman who was in the audience today, Obafemi.
And then they had Odyssey Jones like basically tear apart AOP last week. They've had Otis tear AOP the same way. I mean, I just think with these type of talents, you want to give them that mean streak, man. I think like a dude like this, Odyssey Jones, it's good that they presented him like this, but not. I mean, when I say presented, it's the incorporation with the New Day. That part is fine, but I wish he was a more menacing factor out there. You know what I'm saying? I wish he was more menacing.
I hate that he's with the New Day still.
Okay.
Because like I got touched on before, it's like if I'm Woods, I'm livid because you're asking this man to fill shoes that cannot be filled. Much like how Karrion Kross said in his promo, like he's gonna replace Big E. You can't replace Big E. You can't do it. One, it's not fair to him. Two, like I said, these shoes cannot be filled. It's like having some undrafted guy in the NBA tell him, "All right, you're gonna be the new Kobe." Don't do that to him.
You think that'd be the straw that broke the camel's back when Kofi finally anoints him part of the New Day? Because like you seen today, like he kind of said, Oh, and next week is going to be the Final Testament versus the New Day and Odyssey Jones.
Testicle.
The Final Testament. We did say that.
No. I ain't letting another fight today, boys.
He did say, ooh, Final Testament. Yeah. Man, that was funny.
But again,
I ain't
that,
gonna lie. You
that
slipped
would have been a big E line right there.
and you could tell on Xavier's body language in itself, he didn't have to say much. You just, if you visualize it and you see his body language change once Kofi snatched the mic out his hands.
You could feel that tension.
Cause okay, this is where I got a little like it might have went over my head. Xavier saying a tag team match. So I'm thinking he's saying I didn't know Kofi was cleared. I'm thinking he's saying him and Odyssey.
No, Kofi's fine.
Right. So now he's referencing him and Kofi, but then Kofi says, no, it's gonna be it. Then it kind of plays credence into it could play credence into what Karrion Kross is saying. He doesn't want to replace Big E. He want to replace you. I thought that part was like, I'm like, okay. That was a little dig right
I
there.
did like that intro in which Cross opened up with Austin, show me some respect, referencing the city and Austin being was a government name.
You heard Michael Cole say something, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was
So
dope.
so if the camera caught it, I'm sure Woods was selling it a certain way. Like, the hell did you just say? Because lately, even with Logan Paul, LA Knight, they've been flirting with the government names lately.
I'm gonna be honest though, and I hate to say this, Odyssey Jones, his inclusion into this made me more invested into this because I felt like, how do you pull them apart? Remember how we always say, how do we get there? Without Odyssey Jones in the picture, it was still that question. How do we get there? Now there's still Kofi friendship with him. It's kind of like, okay, and Xavier's doing a hell of a job of playing this like salty role. Like he's showing he's still trying to have his spirits up, but he's not hiding that it's blowing his.
But if you recall when Kofi first introduced Odyssey Jones, he said that he made a one-on-one hit call with Odyssey, and they clicked NXT them two solo. Woods was
Yeah.
never in that initial breaking of the bread, as one would put it. So Woods probably says that Kobe's doing some stuff on the low, and he's not liking it.
Mm-hmm. So it's making me more invested into that story right there. Just the inclusion, like even though I might not like the outfit that he's wearing, I'm not gonna lie to it. The song he had tonight, Odyssey Jones, sounded like a SmackDown and like theme song.
From 2007.
Like I thought I was listening to the SmackDown entrance song. Like it just, I'm like, all right, we gonna get there with him though. You know what I'm saying?
Snakes. To bring up an old topic, this is what we mean by when the current entities that do the music sometimes they miss.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga HD a funny nigga.
I'm screwed. Just talk about it though. We kind of glossed over it. I didn't really hear it clearly. We had a lot of shit going on. The Wyatts, Bo Dallas had a video package.
Now that was an interesting video from what I caught on it.
Yeah.
It's at first it seemed like it was a mashup of the old bits, but then he kind of stuck in a few other lines, and essentially saying that their backs were turned to them. I'm paraphrasing, I believe, but they had their backs turned, and then they're here for everybody. Just something like that. Something they've been preaching all week. Honestly, I didn't think it was needed, but again, if you're not gonna have them in the ring or do some live, at least have a pre-tape. That's fine, but it would they wouldn't have been missed, or they'd have been missed, but their inclusion to the show didn't really add anything more. It was just there.
Do you feel like that that type of video vignette is kind of like, do they need to keep doing that or put a different spin on it? Like, where we at with that?
Unless you're gonna either tell something new or have all of them together, just cutting bits and pieces like the old Shield stuff. Yes, but stuff like this for just Bo, we've already brought everybody out. We're kind of past that. Now is where you can probably get away with a couple conversations here, maybe a quick like 10-second video of them just being behind the corner or something, just little things like that. Because they've been teasing it on Twitter and on Instagram, but now is the time where you probably start doing that on TV, get more eyes in it. Because for example, recently Dakota Kai did I guess she received a swag bag gift from Valorant for her playing on PC and PS5. But when she'd opened the box, she wasn't aware that they were playing that Wyatt piano note in the background.
Mm.
So they did some other stuff online as well as random exclusives or on the talent's personal pages. Why not do that on TV now? They're already here. Do something like that to just keep them looming and all that. Pump those subliminal messages in there. Make us want them more. Sell us on them. Now's the time to do it.
Now, I thought the backstage, the vignette was fine. I just want like more continuity. What I mean by that is, they just took on the American Made team last week, and American Made is on TV this week. Like nothing happened. Look, in fact, to me, they looking stronger than they did last week.
Now, before the American made it, American Alpha match, Gable did touch on that, which again was fine, but I want to see more of that part from the Red Six, not from Chad Gable. Chad Gable's done enough. I want them to talk now.
Nah, that's facts. Cause like I was telling Snakes, from what I seen with the Creed brothers, even in Diamond Mine, they were always behind Roderick Strong. Like
Or
Roderick,
Damon Camp.
yeah, they were the ones always talking. So I think it's kind of Brutus. So one of them gotta start talking.
And I hope it'd be Brutus, honestly, because he has the more charisma to him. Julius would do fine, but he's got that Jack Swagger monotone type to his voice. Now,
Yeah.
bring Ivy Allen into the mix. You might have a mouthpiece there, but we'll see.
Speaking of American Made and American Alpha Academy, like you said, they had Chad Gable. Like he was in. It was very weird to me that they just had him like in France doing that vignette. I mean, I
Yeah,
understand what it could do for his character, but yeah, I just found it weird. Like, why
it'd make
not
more
just
sense for the babyface.
again too? I think it was a way to keep Chad Gable away from Otis. You know what I'm saying? Like cooling it down, free Otis. Man, but Alpha Academy American Made in a Texas Tornado tag team match, meaning all four competitors could be in the ring at once to start the match. I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was going to lead to some Wyatt inclusion right here,
I thought as well.
and also I thought that Alpha Academy, like Otis, had a lot of steam throughout the whole match. Like he was really cooking up that moment. I don't know what injury Julius suffered, but he got a gnarly cut on his hand. Like that was crazy. I don't know when he got that, but they had a back and forth match throughout the whole time. I thought it was gonna be over when Tozawa snuck in that little senton bomb that he
Right.
does. I thought it was gonna be over there. I thought they was gonna let Tozawa sneak one out. But now the match continued, and then in fact, we get one of the moments I've been asking for. Ivy Nile
Picking a
come
side.
picking a side, which I'm not surprised. She picked the side I expected. She's been riding with these boys, you know what I'm saying? Her whole time, her whole tenure in here. So
And
I'm
she
glad.
did warn Maxine beforehand. She did give her head. She low key tried to give her a heads up.
Yep, that even that backstage segment early on in the night leading into this, where she's like, "You sure you don't want to?" All right.
She tried.
And this is the mean streak I like to see. Yeah, this is the mean streak I like to see out of Ivy now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some people are just better suited. Like maybe down the road they could be baby faces, but I feel like if you already got something with them being heels and bad guys, like kind of just stick that motion, you might be able to ride more momentum out of that. Like she looked good doing what she did to Maxine out there. Like I ain't gonna lie, I was concerned for Mac because you know Maxine is kind of tall,
Beat the
so I was
shit
like,
out of her.
yeah, she put her in that sleeper, that dragon sleeper. I'm like, man, if even if Ivy trips the wrong way, she got Maxine's neck.
Maxine's a very frail woman. That's a very petite woman.
Yeah, so I was concerned. And that leads to American Made picking up the victory. I was just shocked that there was no Chad Gable, no Wyatts. I felt like you could have still included both in the show and still got what was it he asked for? Him versus Howdy at Berlin or next week?
Something, whenever. But again, we'll probably get more of that next week. But again, them not being in the match to me kind of made it refreshing because again, all right, so you're still sticking within the story, but you're kind of letting everything else grow with you. So when you do a big blow up, everyone's gonna be on fire instead of just a couple here and there. So
You know what I
I mean,
think it was for me
it was
for a
fine.
lackluster like for a lackluster 3 hours. I felt like I could have used them. Now, if something else probably happened in the night, like I feel like Randy Orton wasn't enough.
So and that's what I meant when if because they were slowing down like this, I was hopeful that the main event would have been at least an hour. Because all right, we're saving everyone's energy for this or something. It's like I was still waiting for that. Wow.
I think it was you that said it too, or it might have been somebody I was listening to. They didn't want to see Randy Orton deliver RKO on Gunther until the go home show.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to wait on that, but I did enjoy that back and forth because to me it kind of seems like yeah, last week Randy touched on being a legend killer. Gunther don't want to see the legend killer. What he wants, the Viper, the Apex Predator, he wants Randy to tap in that state of mind that he was in back in 08, 09 where could nobody fuck with him. He wants that Randy. And he was poking at that Randy. You see, Randy had that look in his eye when he brought up his dad and his grandpa. Like, well, all right, you made your point, but did you have to go a little bit further?
And
Do we
then
need to
like
make this personal?
With that Randy segment, I feel like you remove that, Raw is really lackluster. And then Randy, not to say he's not important, but we just seen a bunch of him on SmackDown, right? Now, unless I'm a brand exclusive and I feel like, oh yeah, I watch just only Raw, then it'll be surprising. But if you watch Raw and SmackDown, it's kind of like, okay,
You know what killed the segment for me?
what's that?
Bleeding it immediately with Punk and Drew. That's what killed. That's
Yeah,
what killed it for me.
yeah, that sprinkle, that was also unexpected to me. To be honest, I didn't
That
expect to hear
was what the
Gunther's
fuck are we
music.
even doing?
Yeah,
I was like, why? If I want to see a mix of what the fuck, I'll watch Wednesday nights.
yeah, because at this point, it's kind of like you said, it's mingling shit that has nothing to do. Is Drew trying to move on from CM Punk off of one win and go back to the title picture? And then it feels like CM Punk is back to this. Nah, the shit's not done. Like we kind of seeing if he plans to ruin Drew's championship aspirations, we kind of just went down that route.
Okay, that's all fine and dandy, but what made it better or more reasonable was you have Gunther walk out, maybe talk to someone in the back, Drew
That was
stares at him, and then Punk snakes him.
mm-hmm. It don't have to be all in that segment right there.
Yeah, because now you're just blending together. You're doing the same thing that they did on SmackDown, where you pissed away Mello, Santos, Andrade, and potentially LA Knight.
I'm not
You
gonna
could
lie. I
have
feel
set the
like
rest of the year lined up.
they also teasing like one of these maybe multi-man matches. You have that segment with when CM Punk is behind stage and Gunther just comes through and smacks the bottle of waters off the table. You seen that?
Mm-hmm.
So and then CM Punk kind of like looks at him like now
To
it
be
don't mean
honest,
like oh he interrupted him.
I want Punk nowhere near Gunther.
Mm.
Now Punk 20 years ago, or 10, 15 years ago, maybe. Present day Punk, I want him nowhere near that. I'm sorry. There's levels to this. Let's see you handle John Cena and Randy and maybe Brock before we allow you to step in the ring with Gunther.
Hey beauty, I
No,
hear you.
Drew's an exception because he can have a good match with Gunther. Punk, mm, you're asking too much of the old man. I said it.
And that can this be because I mean I know we talk about the Seth injury on text message and stuff like where do you think that has anything to do with this? Or is this already in the play
Um,
to like kind of just do this exact shit what they did right here?
that's the interesting part as well. I like I don't know where he fits in all this. To be honest, I don't think we see him in the title picture until maybe Mania season, if that. I honestly don't see. I don't see him fitting in anything right now. I mean, it's got him in the top five. Not because he's not worthy. It's just given what we're potentially setting up right now. It's like there's no need for him to be right there right now. Especially when I feel that he's still got to run it with you know who.
Yep, the tribal chief, the original tribal chief. I'm just trying to think how this
The
like
big dogs want that lick back.
I'm just trying to think how this makes sense for like I mean I seen the early I guess that's the part that I'm glossing over too. Drew did speak to Adam Pearce earlier in the night and make his case. How does Randy Orton just come from SmackDown to just challenge for a championship? So that makes
But Drew answered his own question when he went on further saying, "Okay, the stuff that happened at King of the Ring,
yep.
like what are we even doing with this?"
I don't know, but it was like again, I don't know if it has to do with like coming off such a hot SummerSlam. Like we know for they're gonna deliver when it's big money, but now this is something in our group. Like, do they really show out for Berlin? Do they give them an attraction that they like, kind of like France, right? Like, I mean, we would have to look at what was the France card again, but the main event was, or one of the matches was AJ Styles and Cody, right?
That was the main event, and that was dog shit.
That was the main event, right?
Hmm.
And they still showed out for this shit.
So Cody and KO probably main event. I would hope the main event would be the mixed tag match because that's got the most steam right now. Actually, given what's on the card right now, that's the only match with steam right now. What are you gonna have, Gunther? I mean, yeah, you get Gunther. They'll probably get Gunther the main event because hometown crowd. But the real match with steam and momentum is the mixed tag match.
Yeah, because I feel like we kind of get that situation. Like, all right, these are good matches, but do they further the main story? Like, I can't say looking back now, whatever it is, 2 months, 3 months in, what did AJ and Cody further? What story did that further?
It did absolutely nothing. If anything, it hurt Cody.
AJ goes on to travel to Japan to do cool shit.
AJ showing at home, whatever. But Cody's the guy on top. He's the guy that this ultimately affects because the way, especially when the match stopped, Cody proves he has no killer instinct. If Roman was in that situation, he still would have teed off on AJ to set that precedent. If Brock Lesnar was still in that position, he would have beat him down more to set that precedent.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of how that match ended at all. At all.
Now, again, the Randy and Gunther match will be fine, but again, we honestly right now, a part of me feels Gunther's going to walk away with that winning, but what are the odds that they give Randy number 15?
This soon into Gunther's reign, that's the one. If Gunther just like had the belt for like 300 days, then I'll probably be like, yeah, Randy getting that. Especially with what happened at King of the Ring. But I don't know, man. Like,
It'd be wild, but again, like I said, it's likely that Gunther's probably going to retain, but what if they give that what the fuck?
they could do that. Now, if they
And then
do
put it
that,
right,
right?
and then put it right back on him in Atlanta at Bad Blood.
I was just gonna say that. Now, if they do that and then drop it right back, then it doesn't really hurt. I think everybody goes home happy because then what happens
Because
is
Randy could get a lucky RKO, 1, 2, 3, boom. Get him by surprise when the match first starts, and then Gunther will call bullshit, call him a chicken shit, get the rematch at Bad Blood. Gunther beats the dog shit out of him, and then we get a referee stoppage. Gunther's the new champion.
and you get one of those rare instances where Gunther has now a rivalry with like a legend. You know what I'm saying? With like
Mm-hmm.
one of those tiers.
Got that signature win,
Hmm.
especially when he's going to get Cena sometime next year. So this story with him would be a good litmus test as to how deep in the waters can you really go.
Yeah, because I feel like the King of the Ring, that was kind of like put together last second. Like you just kind of give us Randy and Gunther in the fantasy match. They never really locked horns like that, or at all, right?
Or again, or like what we got at King of the Ring, someone just fucked up. Shit happens.
Hmm.
But and this is one of the only issues I have with Triple H right now is like he's too nice to the officials. Like
Could it
He's
be? Could it? Could it
I don't know if he doesn't want their feelings or whatever, but I feel like he's too nice to them.
could it be because you see how Vince ran everything? Like Vince was the owner and he had the last say. I don't know if you seen recently when Bruce Pritchard he tried to take ownership for changing the scripts last second. Something they said Vince did all the time.
Yeah. Well, Bruce
So
is still
like
there.
yeah, so like is he a part of why like is there a chain of command now that Vince is not there? Like people can't just say, oh, because I'm this, I'm gonna just do this, this, and that.
I would assume there's a more visible chain of command, but if you look at how Vince ran the refs in his regime, you weren't having this many hiccups this frequently. It was you call it how it is. The shit goes south. You go to the back. You told this man, I did this because of this. I made this call because of this, and then you gotta. All right, like why did that suddenly go away now that Triple H is in charge? Do you not take him that seriously to be say, hey, this is what happened, or boom, boom, boom? Maybe this is why we get the referee cameras that experimented with that SummerSlam. It's like there's been so many
That's
fuck ups. It's like, all right, how do we rectify these fuck ups?
I'm not gonna lie, those
And,
little camera
and
views be crazy.
it didn't work because they kept falling off the ears. One, you put it on the ref that fucked up in the Damian Priest match with Seth Rollins. Two, you have Steph with the damn camera, and neither one of them worked.
Yeah, that's nasty work.
So it's like, again, I applaud the trial and error stuff, but there's a reason why shit worked in the past. Well, don't be afraid to go back to those methods. Yeah, where were we?
Now I feel that because I there's a few things I'm concerned with. I'm just hoping it plays out, and like I said, I feel like also what you said, Triple H is being too nice on the referees as to where Vince didn't give a fuck. He ran the business. So I think maybe there's a chain of command that Triple H is worried about looking too aggressive with his employees or co-workers. I don't know what's the stat now that they own by TKO. Like,
Well,
you know,
again, let's look at the opposite side of TKO, for example, in the UFC. When the ref fucks up, Dana White rips him a new one in the press conference. When the athletic commission gets a call that looks obviously one-sided, he rips into whoever the fuck was scoring the fight. He don't give a fuck because in his mind, if you're doing this and this for this rhyme or reason, you are hurting my business. You are hurting the legitimacy of my business. Therefore, you are costing me money.
yeah. Nah, you got a point there. That whole little, I mean, it created for this moment that we have now, but I think that's the cop out excuse. Like we could create a moment from it.
And when you let shit slide, you let the Dave Meltzers of the world pick it apart, and then that'll be their catalyst for their big headline the following day. And he'll ride that for the next 6 months.
But you know what? I'm gonna be honest though. I don't think it's so much like you gotta punish the ref. I just think you gotta not say nothing at all. Like you,
It's
or
not even
not.
punishing the ref; it's just maintaining accountability.
Yeah, but he can't go like, okay, yeah, I know the ref fucked up, so down the road, I'm gonna just give you out of this rematch anyway. It's like you on in half of your statement, you honoring the ref's call is the ref's call, but and here's the but, right? But we're gonna give y'all the rematch cause versus where in the Vince's era, it didn't matter what fucking botch they did this, they did that. You're not getting no rematch. Live with the results.
Or we get it on that Raw or SmackDown and we get what was actually supposed to happen.
Yeah, like the real run back, but immediately.
All I'm saying is like if you maintain accountability, you create better habits.
We seen
And,
this man
and
sit for
whether
two
there's a pecking
quads.
order or not, like you can't be afraid to just hash it out with the boss.
Bro, we seen Vince tear 2 quads. Headed to the
Hmm.
ring, make a fucking call.
Yep.
Now that was excessive. he had to pay 2 legs for that call. But he said, "No, I'm not living with this shit."
But that situation that was more on Cena and Batista for messing up the timing or whatever was supposed to happen. That wasn't so much on everyone else. It's like the two top guys fucked up. Vince is going, God damn it.
I mean, then that's kind of like the Damian Priest situation. He kind of threw the referee under the bus there.
Yeah, and again, his kids, I kind of side trip because again, look at AEW. How many guys have gotten knocked down and they're still going another 5-10 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
So
And
it's like,
the ref's been getting put in tight spots. Now it's up to them. They professionally trained to know what to do, but again, it's like that's one of those situations you be damned if you do, damned if you don't. You be damned if you don't make the call, you be damned if you do.
but look at both shows and all the rest that make up how determined they are to stick to the original plan. Whereas back then, if shit went south, the refs will put it in their own hands and make a certain call, and then own it afterwards. And then that's where Vince probably had more respect for the coaches. That all right, you felt the way, you saw this, we didn't see it on our end. All right, we're moving on right then and there on the spot.
Mm-hmm. Because the goal is to maintain some integrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like
Well,
once you start
we can't do that if certain folks are afraid to think on their own.
yeah, because what's to say now? Like, if we really incorporating real sports, I'm surprised that WWE hasn't added an instant replay, right? Like, I mean,
That's
I'm just
what
saying,
Pat McAfee right now.
like, yeah, like, where like you could challenge a call, like, nah,
Again, we're experimenting with Pat McAfee. That shit gets a little buggy sometimes.
I love Pat McAfee on commentary, but I would say this: I think he's better for PLE commentary than like USA, because him trying to hold back, it sound like he want to be funny, but then it sounds a little bit cringy too.
Yeah, he don't do so hard when he's got to be censored.
Yeah, when he's on the cock and all that, you know what I'm saying? He's good. He
All
files
right,
away.
Cornette.
He files away. But I think overall, though, I think Gunther and Randy Orton, they're gonna have a great match. I just predict Gunther's gonna walk out on top. I can't see a situation where he has a short reign. That'd be disappointing.
It'll definitely make things interesting.
Mm-hmm. Talk about disappointing though. After that, we get the Miz and Bronson Reed. Now,
Whoa, before that,
oh
our
yeah,
truth bless your heart.
there was two things I
Telling
missed behind that. Right, hold on, go ahead.
our truth telling Miz to make up for what happened with the belts and all that, and with the Rock and Roll Express. Our truth says he gets a match against Braun. Miz finds a little funny. He says whatever, and then our truth says, "There's his face right there. Go stare him down." Lo and behold, It's big bad Bronson Reed. Then Randy comes along. Randy hypes up Miz, saying you can do it. Miz goes to the changing room to get dressed. Archer asks Randy, you think he can do it? But not even blinking, Randy just like, it's bad.
I ain't gonna lie, they just feeding people to Bronson Reed now.
Which is fine, but similar to with Damian Priest, this is where you want to put him against maybe a Jey Uso, maybe a Sheamus, someone of that upper echelon.
I mean,
Not
it's a big difference when you go from 1 week Seth Rollins to then R-Truth and the
yes,
Miz.
yeah. Nothing against R-Truth and Miz. It's just there's levels of a hierarchy.
Yeah, like me seeing him do what he did to R-Truth and Miz wasn't as impressive as last week when he did it to Seth Rollins. Last week was, oh, you just shook the room. This week was kind of like, all right, this is what
Look,
you're supposed
I
to be
want
doing.
to hear no one say the truth in a ride or die. He took an ass whooping and then for that man.
And I think, again, shout out to Bully. He's on point with how the crowd should feel, and the crowd doesn't feel nothing when our baby faces are getting put through 6 tsunamis and there's no like negative reaction.
It's basically everyone sitting on their own hands.
Yeah. The first week,
Not a good sign.
last week, you got a few cheers because it was a
Well,
shocking moment.
here's where stuff goes south. When the crowd is chanting for the heel one more time onto the baby face, well, you got a big fucking problem.
Yep.
That is the cardinal sin red flag right there.
And then this week, nobody cared. It was just like I heard silence. Like they did the same spot where all the officials were there. They had to move because he's gonna do this, and it was just like, all
Like
right.
Jamie Noble, you couldn't climb onto that turnbuckle and stop her from getting up there?
I'm not gonna lie. What they need to do is one of the officials need to get hit by it, make that spot even more intense. Like, oh, whoa, he actually caught one of the officials.
Like I said, have a Jamie Noble up there. Bronson hits Jamie Noble. Bronson climbs on top of Jamie Noble. Does the tsunami something?
Yep.
Make him an undoubtable monster. But baby steps. So I mean, I get it. And again, the match with him and Seth, it'll be fun because Bronson was very impressive in New Japan. But this is a very different test for him.
I think Bronson Reed, he got talent. He's just missing something. Like I don't know what it is, but there's something missing.
Maybe Seth can get that out of him. Who knows? Because he's not bad on the mic. He can cut some decent stuff. But again, he is missing that one little thing. But again, if Seth can't get it out of him, I don't know what else you can do to him.
Maybe it's the right opportunity. Like timing is very crucial for everybody. And
That too.
yeah, like maybe he needs one of those opportunity matches that can put him in a position logically to challenge for these championships that he's seeking, rather than take like they was getting lost in the shuffle. WWE got a deep roster, even though it feel like there's moments where the show just drags on. But when you got Tozawa out there versus and the way he's being used, not saying he's not talented, but I'm saying the way that he's being used as like a comedic relief, like just like damn near job of talent, and then the camera time he's getting versus what somebody else could be getting to build. Yeah, it's opportunities for sure.
Well, like I said, we'll see where him and Seth go down the road. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I hope they really like that. That's I mean, I feel like they're not gonna ignore that. They're gonna go back to that at some point, but I hope it's not too further down the road because then I'm gonna feel like now y'all trolling with this long term storytelling shit. Like, yes, we act for long term storytelling, but not on everything, bro. Like, you know how you watch The Flash, bro, and you got the big bad for the whole season, but then there's episodes that they caught these little other villains in one episode, bro. It didn't take the whole season to get the big bad. Like we don't need the whole season sometimes for a story. It's cool, yeah, like long term storytelling, but some shit get dragged. For the top tier talent, I would say yeah, keep that.
I'll give you a perfect example. The old Dragon Ball Z show. They take Goku 4.5 episodes to turn to Super Saiyan.
You feel me? Like, come on.
You'll just hear like 3 episodes of ah.
But it was enough. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't make you wait a whole season.
We waited 3 sometimes 4 episodes for him to do one thing.
But that one
But
thing at that time felt special. I think like now we see in times where
no,
like
this would be a really good sometimes because again, when his character replied, it'd be just because, and it's like
we
it,
seeing
it'd be
Goku Black now.
it,
Like we seeing Goku Rose. We in the
it, it'd be
hustle era.
it'd be a random power up, which on like 3 filler episodes type
Yeah,
shit.
like that's what I'm saying. Like we in a short term but long term era where people want things but they don't want it too much.
Well, there's a way to do it, and like we said earlier, like you can't use the same recipe on everybody. It's impossible.
Yeah, like the Otis and Chad shit. Y'all done drew it out so long that it don't feel like long term story. It don't feel like that.
Whenever they have the one-on-one match, I'm not going to care as much anymore. I'm gonna be honest because that match that happened what almost 3 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm always saying like I get it now where we at now. Okay, like let's say if back then they said okay by August we're gonna have Braun Breaker with the championship. I could understand why y'all chose not to put it on Gable, but they also missed on a program there. Like this time period where you had Sami Zayn with the championship, you gonna tell me Braun Breaker could not have done the same shit with Sammy's with Otis or with Gable?
hmm
I think
And
it would have been an even
Braun
better
versus Gable
fight.
on the build-up would have been fun to watch.
Yeah, but no, you want to hold Gable for the Wyatt Six shit for whatever reason, because I'm
And we're
assuming,
still on that.
yeah, and Gable must be really trusted as we're like, I guess they trusted him with the Wyatt Six and Creed. I don't know. It must be some trust there.
We'll see where they go with it. It's just there that's in a very interesting spot. I don't know if it's for better or worse right now, but it's something.
And again, for me, it's okay if it's all going to turn out to be fire, but it's hard for me to say if like people really die in WrestleMania. Like I feel it was longer than WrestleMania, but people die in WrestleMania is the end of the old era and the start of the Paul Levesque era. We ain't got really much to work with, so it's always like the time will tell thing.
Yep.
But I'm gonna be honest, if they were in Texas and they did a Texas tornado match, the next time they're in New York, I feel like I'm gonna see a Miracle on 34th Street match.
A street fight.
Yup.
Yeah,
I,
every certain time of year you're gonna see a themed match. That's almost a given nowadays.
And then I'm gonna be honest, so I feel like when we say Vinceism, is it wrong for Triple H to just maybe? 'Cause I be thinking about this too, right? Like I be like, damn, Vince McMahon really ran this shit for so long. What if Triple H be doing little shit to try to show him like like damn, I know you're not here, but
Your method works. I just did it better.
yeah, like I'm still using what you would do, like
And
just like a little head nod.
I think we are seeing a little by little, to be honest.
And like you said,
And,
Bruce
and
Pritchard is there too, so it's like,
he's the only guy still there from that regime.
that's a very critical guy to have there.
Hmm.
Cause that's kind of like, I mean, I will try to put myself in them shoes, right? Well, like, all right, for Triple H, Vince McMahon is not only his former boss, that's your father-in-law, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's like he just admitted the other night on a post conference for SummerSlam, like, yeah, Stephanie doesn't have a role with the company, but if I'm that kid on my couch booking the shows and she's my wife, you don't think she's that girl with me right there booking these shows?
Well, I know before the Vince stuff broke out that she had stepped down from her duties.
Yep. So she got no official role. He said she has no
Hmm.
official role, but like just having input, right? So
She's
like,
basically retired.
yeah. So like, what if she says, "Hey, babe, it'll be cool to see Bianca and Jade out there," and he's like, "Well, you know what? Fuck it, right?" And I'm not saying that's a fact. That's just like me just shooting shit. Like she's just, and he's
Happy
like,
wife,
"All right,
happy
cool. Let's
life.
see." Yep. Fuck it, right? Like, what would it hurt? She's a wrestling mom. It's not like she hasn't been in the business. She know what works.
I won't go as far as calling her a wrestling mind, but I see what you mean.
I mean, she can be. She's had a role in the wrestling business, different roles. I don't know what those roles entailed of, but you know what I'm saying? She got some kind of mind in there. Maybe not want to run a business, like be a booker or something like that, but maybe she's using trips as like a little extension to play around with the fantasy booking. And I was
Or
surprised to even see
let's
him
go
say
one
that.
step further. Who's to say she's not speaking on behalf of Vince?
Man, that'd be crazy, right?
While Shane's giving the intel from AW from his meetings with Tony Khan.
I always felt like they had every family has weird shit to them, right? Like, but they had like a weird dynamic where like Shane was just kind of like he went on his own path, and I felt like that on camera they really fooled me. Like I thought Vince and Shane were really tight like that. Like you know what I'm saying? To the point I
Hmm.
thought Shane would have had the business.
Well, he probably would have if NXT didn't take off the way it did.
Crazy. Yeah, that whole story. I can't wait till it's like the real documentary to like you know what I'm saying? What used to be the ESPN version, the 30 on 30s?
The 30 for 30s.
Yeah, the 30 for 30s. Like, man, like we get like a real official story behind it with nobody being politically correct. Man, that'd be massive content right there. I feel like that's the
Hmm.
problem. Why everybody's still contracted, nobody really gonna keep it all the way. Like,
Hold on, real quick side note. I found some intel on our boy Vincent Winey.
oh yeah, yeah, we need that.
He is the boyfriend of Cora Jade.
No way. Imagine if they would have put him in a match with Braun Breaker.
I was gonna say.
That's crazy. They even had him up on the roster with him though.
Uh, we'll save that one for later.
But we also tonight we got Punk indicating that he gonna be challenging McIntyre to the strap match.
I was thinking Boro, but we'll probably do the same ordeal.
I feel like that's too gimmicky for them. Like I ain't gonna lie, like they might as well just have the 3 stages. But you said that last time, right? Three
Three
stages of
stages of
hell.
hell.
That's it. Just do it, bro. Just like y'all did the special referee. Y'all did the strap match. The next, if y'all go for a third, it gotta be 3 stages and just wall out with the stipulations. Go crazy.
What if Drew goes 2-0 on Punk?
I can see that.
So could I. Because if they're on that strap together, there's going to be a lot of bloodshed. A lot of shit's going to go down. The last time Punk was in a match like that was against MJF.
You know what? Some continuity I don't like though either. Now that we talk about this, CM Punk said tonight it's not about the bracelet, but caught feelings when Seth put the bracelet on.
He yep.
So I'm just like, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's the intent, but that in that moment in the match, you lost it because Seth put the bracelet. He didn't say nothing about wife or dog. Nothing was said. He just retrieved the item in the just like any other four. Have we not? Hold
Well,
on. To play devil's advocate, have we not seen pieces of gear fall off wrestlers all the time, and the referee just picks it up? They might not put it on their wrists, but they pick it up off the floor.
well, two things. One, I don't think Seth says pants had any pockets. Two, on one at least one occasion, Drew did speak AJ Lee's name.
Yep,
At least one occasion.
yep. That's when, and I believe that's when Drew was in the crowd, and he was like, "You stupid dog," and your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that makes sense. But the moment in the match is like, a little continuity. But like again, they pushing for these two to have these stipulation matches. I think it's kind of reversed where Drew was looking foolish in the first half of the summer. Now CM Punk is starting to look like he's doing too much to try to honor his family. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But also, believe it or not, matches like this might do more benefit for Punk to try to get that gas tank going
Okay.
because he's not doing this Russell match. You got the gimmick stuff that way. You can get away with certain cutting other corners potentially. But again, if this isn't the payoff or whatever, uh, how
Let
do
me
you
ask
even
you
do a third
something, bro.
match?
Do you feel like I feel like I noticed something with a lot of promos that like some of these dudes that got freedom to speak, I think sometimes they be talking some bullshit. Like even Punk, he's great on the mic, but I feel like he just be saying shit to be saying it too sometimes. Like example tonight, Kathy Kelly, she I don't know. That was so weird how like you don't really see an interviewer feel comfortable to press the wrestler about like, yo, you kind of lied tonight. Why you lied? And then he's forced into like he can't really do what The Rock used to do to the coach, right? She's a female. He can't just grab her up and be like, yo, well why you or like what the guys do to Byron, right?
Yeah,
So now he's kind of forced into this. Well, yeah, I had to tell a white lie. Like now you dancing around.
but also, I mean, that didn't do Kathy no favors either. It's like that was just again like what the running gag with today's show is. What the fuck are we even doing?
Yeah. And I
It's
fuck with
like
Kathy Kelly, but I just didn't understand that. I was just like,
that did nothing for nobody.
you know what I enjoyed more? Jackie Redmond with her segment with Pete Dunne when he was actually getting snappy with her, and she's like, "Well, I appreciate you even giving me this insight."
Hmm.
I thought, okay, well, that was a dope way of her handling that. Like, you know what I mean?
That was a great segment too.
Yeah.
But Pete Dunne just laying it out as to what was going down, as to why, essentially, why the fall of LeBron and Bruce was like. He said, "I'm not right no one's coattails. I've been in this game almost 20 years.
She was
I'm
about
I'm
to
Pete
say
Dunne.
the
I'm the
word
bruiserweight."
butch. She was about to
Hmm.
call him butch. He's like, don't ever. That's what I was alluding to when he got a little snappy with her, and she didn't even blame him for it. She's kind of like, nah, I understand. Like, I actually
I get it.
appreciate. Yeah. So I thought that dynamic, the whole like comfortability. Like, I know Kathy Kelly and CM Punk took pictures on Instagram and this and they cool and this and that, but like the whole comfortability level, I don't know. It just kind of like it makes for that the awkward first 5-10 seconds of the promo. You know what I'm saying?
If something sounds like a bad idea, it probably is, and it's okay to say no.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they trying to get her. I get like you said, that's they were trying to get old girl over Kathy Kelly, but it didn't do no favors. So like I don't know.
This doesn't have to be all friends wrestling.
Yeah, but also what was cool too. I think we speaking about it earlier. We got Mark Henry out there with his son Jacob. Fire. I don't know if we spoke
Now,
about it on the show or we just touched on it on the
what
text
I thought
message.
was funny about that was his son's going to Oklahoma. Oklahoma and Texas University are rivals. This kid should have been booed out of the arena for his school. If I'm him, I'm in Oklahoma drip going boomer sooner than everybody.
I
Missed
thought it was
opportunity.
I thought it was funny how Pat McAfee started to go crazy for like Mark Henry and Michael Cole was like and his son Jacob like you know what I'm saying like
Busted open legend. WWE Hall of Famer. The world's strongest man. But that wasn't the only legend in attendance today.
mm,
We got a Candice Michelle sighting. Last time you seen her.
I
Wait a
ain't gonna
minute.
lie yo my
Was it?
man McAfee sounded like he was ready to troll her shit OD. You heard the little tongue in cheek
I did
thing he
find interesting
said?
how he called it basically like almost like a pillar of Raw today or whatever, and it's like, nah,
Yo,
respectfully, he wasn't.
the tone in his voice sounded like he wanted to start laughing after he said that shit.
He was ready to risk it all. Once he said her name, he remembered he's a married man.
I ain't gonna lie, she started doing some real 2007 diva shit out there for real though. Like I was
It's
like,
all she knows.
yeah, unfortunately. I mean, but I ain't gonna
Eh,
lie though, like that's no excuse though. 'Cause I give it to girls like Tori Wilson. You know what I'm saying? She came up. She was part of that era. She was part of WCW and all of that bra and panties match. Kelly too. I feel like Kelly when she recently came back, like she came back more trying to wrestle rather than. But I get it though. Candice Michelle was really that model type though. Like she was part of that
well,
like Playboy bunny type
she did
shit.
Playboy. I think she did a little bit of porn afterwards in from post WWE.
Yeah, so she was really in that lifestyle, and that little fun lifestyle. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Hmm. I'm not
she
sure what
looked.
she's doing now.
She looked like she doing pretty good for herself for her age. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how old
Hmm.
she is, but like, she
But
looked like
again,
she doing them
it's
things.
always great to see. It's always great to see the ones from the past.
Yup. Again, I was surprised though because I'm glad though that like again what I tell you all the time how I
Uh,
don't care who do it if it's AEW like I told you I loved how they used Sting in his last year I'm not really so much fun. Like I'm not buying into Daniel Bryan in his last year, but we get that's a whole nother topic, right? But like when we talk about real legends and shit, like I like how they really giving a rollout for them to be there, and then they spotlighting them. Yo, these are our WWE. They never used to like in Vince's era. You know, he used to like feel like he had to pay them to make an appearance. Like,
Well, and
they,
you only get those that are on his good graces.
yes,
Triple H, he calling everybody.
that's
Hey,
Ventura.
we're in your neighborhood. You want to pull up? We got a seat for you.
Like, he just had Ventura on there. Mark Henry back. I ain't gonna lie, Mark Henry looked like that little
He looks
appearance he
happy.
did on yeah, that little appearance he did on WWE is more than what I seen in AEW. And I don't know what AEW could have did, but they could have had Mark Henry on television just like that, shaking.
But Mark, you saw like a kid at Christmas. You saw actual happiness on his face. He's probably telling his son Jacob, "This is what you work for right here.
Hmm.
Remember this sound. You should aspire to get this sound every time, if not something louder than this." But again, he's off to college at the alma mater of Gerald Briscoe, WWE legend. So let's see.
I'm not gonna lie, too. Leading it, they had him out there for a good match because they had him out for the main event. But leading into this, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's just because of the dynamic of Sami Zayn and
Be honest. Be
yeah,
honest.
like I don't know if he's challenging, so it didn't feel right. But
Let
that
it out.
dynamic of him and Jay back there, I just ain't feel it tonight.
Don't hold back. Let it out.
Yeah, I ain't. I was probably with it 2 weeks ago with the idea of like when we talking about yo, what's the possibility of them doing this? I was for it, but this week seeing what they was doing felt mad forced. Not gonna lie, like it just like or whatever. Not Jay, cause Jay do what he do, but whatever Sammy's doing, it don't feel organic.
Something seems off with it. The way he doesn't just go around.
Yeah, it feels like he's trying to be sad around Jay, and then pick up the energy like some fake energy. Like I don't appreciate that.
He acts like a lost puppy dog.
Yeah, like, and this is to me, it's very weird because I feel like they've been past that. Whatever tension they had, they should have been past that. But I guess they, you know, I just wasn't digging it tonight. So, off rip, when I see them again, it gave me no hope for Sammy. Like there was like no, oh yeah, I feel like he's gonna go into this match here. Well, nah, he's out there with Jay. I feel like they're gonna be a tag team soon, or like something close to it.
From that moment to me looking at the clock when the match started, I'm like, nope, this is not going to end well.
Yeah, bro. Like I'm surprised too. I don't know what it is with they haven't been finding stuff for Jay. I don't know if it's cause Roman's coming back, and I feel like you could
Well,
date that back to a lot of frustrations Rikishi had. Like they might have not really had nothing for him concretely to begin with.
why is Roman the only plan?
Yeah, that sucks.
Nothing against the Bloodline Civil War, nothing against all that, but why is that all you can come up with? Like he said, he's doing John Cena, Roman levels of merch. He's one of, if not the hottest babyface you got in the entire company. He's at a point right now to where he could kick a newborn puppy over the Brooklyn Bridge and still get a standing ovation at the Garden. Like he can't do no wrong. This is all you got for him, really? The best you got is him trying to slide in Rhea's DMs, really? You could have put the money in the bank on him or something. Who cares if he didn't beat Gunther? Who cares? But you give him that shine.
Could have had him win King of the
Just
Ring.
anything.
That was the first missed opportunity. Then the Money
Well,
in
I
the
mean,
Bank.
I get a good to King of the Ring, but again, you could have had him win Money in the Bank. You could have teased him or given us him versus Cody at Berlin instead of the KO stuff. We could have you could have booked the KO Cody match the week before KO gets taken out. Cody will go down to the ring, says, "All right, Kevin, where you at?" Then you hear Jay's theme, and Jay walks down from the crowd holding that briefcase, saying, "You know I gotta do this to you. Something, anything, anything but this."
I'm not gonna lie too. The way that they booked Jay to beat Ilya in the King of the Ring tournament, he could put himself in that like IC bracket too.
If Sammy was still a champion and we weren't crowning Braun just yet, I would have happily said yes to that. But
Yeah.
we are so far past that. It's like again, this guy has been white hot post Mania, and all you got for him is wait till Roman comes back. Are you fucking kidding me? Like
Nah, that's it. Yeah, I don't like that.
Rikishi, OG, I'm insulted for you. Like I just me reciting that just sounds foul. Like really? Y'all hate him for that match with Jimmy that bad? Like really?
I think it's like Trips is trying to really give a bunch of people that, cause there's no way that, like, there's no way again. To me, there's no way that certain people make the show for a match. Now I'm not saying okay, maybe I gotta look if Jay had a match last week or whatever, but I don't even think he did, right?
The last thing he had was either Dom or JD, I believe. Might have been Dom, and that was before Rio was back. Oh no, the week Rio came back, it was Dom and Jay. So that was how many weeks ago? Over a month ago.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more you can do with them.
But for the for the main event, how you felt about this? The 2 out of 3 falls. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but
I would have had more hope if the match was more than 20 minutes.
yeah,
This seemed like all right. We're giving Braun 20 minutes to just beat the shit out of Sammy. Yes, Sammy got a lucky pinfall, but we all knew it was going to be 2-1 Braun. It's just at least give the match like 45 minutes to an hour minimum. That way, you let it breathe out. You at least give us the false hope that maybe Sammy can pull this one out and we get a rubber match, say maybe Bad Blood or something.
my only
I don't
issue
know.
with
Or even
Braun
Berlin.
is that they make Braun Breaker so dominant, right? But his flaw is that he's kind of like raw talent where he doesn't have the experience
And
to.
that's why I say you give those longer matches, you test the waters.
Hmm.
That's what he needs. Like he's done plenty of squash matches. Like that's fine. We know he can win in 5 minutes. We know he can win in 10 minutes. Like, but what happens when you get to the 30-minute mark, the 45-minute mark? Next you know it's an hour Broadway.
Because even though they
You
had
gotta give him the,
since the
you
last
gotta
show,
give him the sooner or later. And Sammy in this spot would have been the perfect time because if you do it with Ilya, it's not going to work the same because they'll both will be dead gas by the 25th minute, maybe half an hour if they're lucky. Sammy could probably pace it out to where you could probably Braun will start getting winded by the 30, 45-minute mark. So you get more mileage out of him. I I don't know. Like they went from booking Braun to Brock Lesnar to low key turning him into Goldberg. They're teetering that way.
And that's what I didn't enjoy. Like Sammy getting the first victory, he should have got no victories.
Right.
Cause yeah, now he hits the spear and whatever else he did to finish off the. But at that point, you already took a haluva kick and showed you could be beat. It just takes the right move, the right amount of luck to beat you. As to where there
Hmm.
was certain dudes that were dominant, it didn't matter what luck you hit. You was what you could have hit your best finisher. It wasn't putting them out. You needed two of those. And yeah, like you said too, with a short amount of time, it felt rushed. Like damn, you really just lost your first
You made it
pinfall.
blatantly obvious.
Hmm.
Now again, the short matches seem to be Braun's speciality, but eventually you got to put that gas tank to the test, and you're not going to find someone with a better motor than a Sami Zayn, unless you were to put Randy in that spot. But you're not going to send Randy from the world title to the IC title belt, especially right now.
You know what's sad to
Now,
me?
now, if Randy beats Gunther, you might get my attention for that, but it's going to need a lot of work.
Their best match was, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Money in the Bank when he lost.
Mm-hmm. Because again, you put him in those waters. That match is what 20 minutes, maybe 25.
Hmm. And then in
Like,
SummerSlam, he kind of ran through him quicker.
SummerSlam was less than 5.
Hmm. And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because psychology wise, it don't make sense. Like, what story are you telling here? So,
All
what
you're proving
Braun lost
is if the longer the match goes on, the better chance you have of winning because he's going to get tired. He's going to get sloppy. He has to finish you fast. So what do you do to avert him? You drag his ass down the mud. You make him get tired. You make him chase you for 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 falls, kind of like once they should have like I felt like once they announced it last week, I kind of I called Braun Breaker going 2-0, but even if they went this direction, where I didn't think they was gonna let Sammy win the actual title. They let him take one
Now,
pip there,
now
but
here's where Braun potentially falls into that Cody run one now. Like, who do you give him next? Who legitimately could you give him next?
I would think it would be Ilya unless they're gonna do some shit try to save that off. But again, who?
It's got to be either, in my opinion, it's got to be either Ilya or I know it's like a broken record, Ricochet. You ain't that far from Atlanta, my boy.
Mm.
Someone told Braun to offer up an open challenge, or even Survivor Series in Canada. Open challenge. Braun could let Braun talk him to the saying, I don't got to defend the title because there's no one that can stand in the ring with me. Ilya's probably stole her or whatever. We'll just have that storyline. So maybe Atlanta or what are they? Vancouver for Survivor Series. Anyway, in Canada, set up an open challenge. Either Ilya or Ricochet. Those are the only two credible minds right now. Everyone else, I don't see it. I don't see Ludwig right now, or at least for this current PLE. Maybe Bad Blood or maybe Structure. Maybe if you go back to that, but right now you're incorporating him with the Sheamus and Pete Dunne bullshit. So you already pissed that away too.
Yeah, I ain't like how they incorporated Ludwig tonight.
Yeah, so like I said, my options are for credible champions or challengers are either Ricochet, Ilya, or by some horrific act of God, Randy wins title number 15. And Gunther is insulted by how Braun's treating the IC belt that he had built so much work for. But
You know who I could see
Braun,
him doing too?
oh,
Rey Mysterio, because he ain't been active like that.
but I'm talking about guys that I can see legitimately beating Braun too.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
would see,
Yeah, I just
I
might
would,
see them.
if Melo jumps to a Raw, maybe, but that's like I said, Braun is slowly trekking into that Cody territory in which there's no one that's legitimately credible to where it's a must-see match. Right now, you got two, maybe three guys, potentially, but definitely at least one. But if you make the right phone calls and do shit a certain way, you might get three competitors. But there's other than that, there's nobody.
If Bobby
What,
Lashley don't stop the deal,
Bobby wants to go back to Japan,
yeah, I seen. And he got other shit lined up he want to do.
but again, if he goes to Japan, I mean, whether it's Noah, All Japan, or New Japan, I guess I wouldn't be mad at that. If he goes to All Japan, he's still got the WWE links. Same with Noah. If he goes to New Japan, he'll just be subject to Tony Khan's money. But he actually wants to work. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. If Bobby was about 4 years, 3 to 4 years younger, there's a few matches in New Japan where I would love to see him in. But I think Noah might be the better fit because there's a lot more established veterans of his generation there. For example, quick sidebar. I sent you a snake this last night or this morning. Breaking news: NXT Zone Tavion Heights beats Keno clean as a whistle in the N1 Victory Tournament. This boy has been white hot,
He been working.
man. So real quick, you want to know how he's been beating everybody?
Huh.
Hands down, the smoothest, cleanest belly-to-belly suplex I've seen since Scott Steiner.
Oh yeah, I peeped that shit.
It's in that video pack I sent you a snake, but if Braun Breaks starts putting that pop on a belly-to-belly, man. But he's getting a little torque on there, getting the win over folks. He's getting some big wins. He beat Keno. He beat Wagner Jr. This kid has been white hot, and Japan fucking loves him.
Nah, yeah, that's fire for him right there for sure. He came up quick.
And like I said, you beat arguably the number one guy in pro wrestling, Noah. You beat the guy.
That's fucking huge.
And even Keno in the post match was shocked by it. Said, "Hey, he got me. I got to give him his props. I was not expecting that from him. He's thinking Duke from the block. He's thinking young guy. He's thinking a rookie, a dojo boy. He didn't know that man was nice like that." So again, shout out to the Performance Center. We might have another Brown Breaker dog on our hands with Tavion Heights. And then you got Charlie Dempsey just killing it in TNA. Come on, man.
Yeah, once they bring them up, oof, you're gonna be crazy.
And Dempsey is killing it in All Japan too. So it's like, bro, in 5 to 10 years, can you imagine this roster?
Yeah, if nobody want to leave and everybody stay put, this is gonna be crazy.
Not even that. Just the amount of folks that Triple H is currently networking with.
Man,
Like we talked about Worlds Collide. That may not be just NXT. That could be a WWE, NXT, Noah, AAA. All Japan, you name it.
Yep. And it's
It could
not
be something like that.
who did it better, who did it right.
Who did it right? Who did it? Who served it the most justice?
Yep.
And is everybody eating?
And in that case with WWE, I think it's a win-win. Cause obviously they gonna put themselves in a position where they gotta look strong, but they gonna make sure everybody look good too. It's not gonna just be like, oh, we coming through to just run through. Like them days is over. They could have been monopoly buying people out if they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Or trying to.
And now it's like they're saying it to where, hey, like the W's making so much money, they're willingly handing out the money. Everyone else saying, hey, we're getting this in. Come dig in.
Mm-hmm.
And also another note, you want to know what other WWE legend, and I'm going to call him a legend because that's what he is, that was in the building today?
Who the?
The one and only SmackDown #1 announcer, Funaki, was
Nah,
backstage.
I missed that.
I guess they uploaded a photo. Uploaded a photo of him and Punk. Boy Funaki was backstage, just kicking it. Now Funaki, he's the Japanese commentator for the PLEs, but it's like he don't come out to just any show. They ain't bringing him out just for some random Joe Schmo show event. They got some stuff in the works.
Had my boy Funaki out there. That's
Because
why.
think about it. Because think about it. William Regal, Funaki, Shinsuke, they got pulled in Japan. Tajiri's still in All Japan Pro Wrestling. Super Crazy is still in Pro Wrestling Noah. Conan is in AAA. You got ADR and Ziggler in AAA, and everyone else is doing the towns. They got a finger and a pulse and everywhere. You're gonna tell me that Triple H is not in contact with Matt Cardona on a regular? They got an eye on everything, and all those folks, all they gotta do is pick up the phone saying, "When can I pull up?" And Triple H will say, "How soon do you want your plane to leave?" They got some moves that they're ready to pull the plug on. I'm calling it.
Nah, I believe it. I'm waiting on him. I'm just waiting on him.
Because again, every time I hear a name, I just keep thinking, sooner or later, I don't care if it's here in the States or anywhere in the world, someone's going to surpass that crowd from France and Leon. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, and sometimes, like we said, we gotta look back at that card, but the main event itself wasn't the greatest, and
It
the
was the
crowd still showed
moments.
up. Right. So maybe the same thing happens at Berlin, where we kind of like, these matches don't, but the crowd gonna make it. Hopefully, they gonna make it what it is and turn up.
But again, if you're banking on the next tag and Gunther and Randy, you might need one or two more matches to get the crowd going because KO and Cody's only going to do so much, especially if you honestly leave the bowling out of it. I know. I honestly, I wouldn't have Roman on that show at all because again, you're further establishing that Roman's here, Cody's barely right here. So now that Roman's back, let's see if Cody gets his shit in gear. Could he do it? Possibly, but this is his chance now. The king is back. The crowd's waiting on him. It's can you win that crowd back knowing that he's behind those curtains?
Yeah, it's an interesting, as a fan, it's an interesting spot to see them in.
Again, it's one of those 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You have the ball on your own 30. It's already second and long. You have no timeouts left. Can you go the distance?
Mm-hmm.
You need a touchdown to win the game. A field goal ain't gonna cut it. But again, Cody's a guy that he lives off that pressure. So let's hope because in my opinion, Cody's success in this run or in this in this run right now will determine, in my opinion, if he beats Roman the third time when they had that rematch. This will determine it for me if I believe he's gonna have a shot at winning or not.
Mm.
Because right now it's leaning towards Roman giving Cody a Brock Lesnar level squash match. Now, hopefully I'm wrong, but again, that crowd don't lie.
Yeah, there's a potential for Roman to just run right through Cody.
Like you were never nothing. You
Mm-hmm.
won because I took my eye off the ball.
I think ultimately too though, The Rock might be the one to do it and poke at Roman Reigns too.
Okay, let's get into that real quick since we have some time to think about that. So I don't know how your algorithm's been, but for me, a good chunk of what I've been seeing as of late when folks attempted to predict the WrestleMania card for Vegas. All right, yeah, they got Cody versus Solo, but they have Rock versus Roman for the belt. Now,
Mm.
me personally, Rock versus Roman, I don't need the belt at all. Like that, if anything, that match will kill the belt.
It will, but if
I don't
people are
know.
already unhappy with what Cody doing, it's either let that shit go, like somebody else gotta have in there.
Well, like I said a few months ago or before Mania, when you and I first clicked up, folks were gonna rue the day because by now we would have heard. No, actually before SummerSlam, we would have heard this from Michael Cole. Ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns has just passed Hulk Hogan on the all-time list for the longest streak as World Heavyweight Champion.
Yep.
The only man that stands in front of him are Pedro Morales and Bruno Sammartino.
Mm.
Can you imagine if the big dog would have been at 1,500 days by now? Crazy.
And we could have had that shit too.
And we still could have had Solo kicking out the blood. We could have had all this other bullshit still,
Low
I
key, yeah.
believe.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because you could have had an anarchy amongst the tribe. They have a little mutiny. Solo still brings in his real life op and Tamatonga because I don't know if you saw what folks have brought on Twitter and on TikTok something that I mentioned when Tamatonga first came on board. I don't know if it was a G1 a few years ago or if it was World Tag League. Tamatonga's uh, invoking the Usos, invoking Roman Reigns. Keep that fist popped. I found the snitch. You still a bitch or whatever. You don't think Roman remembered all that shit on the back and forth? Like he remembered every single word when he was swinging them steps on Friday.
Yeah, that shit was fire too. How he was just thrashing them with them shits.
Like I said, he remembered everything that Thomas said, and Thomas he'll probably hop on the mic today and say, "Yeah, I said it, and I'm still standing. What you gonna do about it?" And then that match when those two Longhorns, you thought I damn near had a fanboy moment over Tama versus Randy. You get Tama versus Roman. I honestly I'm more hyped for that matchup than Roman versus Jake. To be honest, because of that history. Now Roman versus Jake, that one's going to be special, but the stuff with Roman versus Tama, that's going to be equally as special. Especially if Corey Graves, the way he's been working, he's going to speak on them tweets.
It's a lot to dive into right there.
Mm-hmm. And we have, let's see, less than 8 months.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time to tell this story. So many chapters. Or also, real quick sidebar to the Samoa Dynasty. Juicy Finau and Lance Anoa'i, the new MLW Tag Team Champions. They won it a couple weeks ago. So we may not be seeing Lance anytime soon, but still, that's cool. There's still time for him.
How you felt about this overall episode of Raw though?
6.5.
What's it 6.5?
Yeah, like a lot of it was fine. Again, I expected a lot more out of the 2 out of 3 falls match. The stuff with the judging is it's fine. Yeah, it was just meh.
Mm.
I just wanted a lot more of that main event, and I kind of want Sammy and Jey Uso as far away from Judgment as possible. I honestly, the sooner Jey goes back to SmackDown, the better at this point. Paul Heyman, what are you waiting for? Just grab him right now and tell him Jimmy's already in the car. But speaking of Jimmy, did you happen to catch Jey Uso's interview on Sports Illustrated recently?
No, I caught the transcripts. He said something about can't wait to see Jimmy come back.
He damn near gave out a date. He just said but he stopped said coming out soon.
Mm.
And then he spoke high praises of Roman and some other stuff and all that. And then I don't know if it was with Sports Illustrated or someone else, but they had asked him on Solo's current run in SmackDown right now, from NXT to now and everything else. But that might have been a whole separate interview. Because I guess him and Jimmy had told him to finish college first and then come out. But they're not surprised he picked everything up so quickly. Also, Jim Cornette gave Solo some very high praise.
Did he?
I don't know if you caught the recent podcast, but he says between Solo and the Uso twins, Solo's the best worker. He flat out says Solo's work is light years better than what the Usos ever did.
That's crazy. I mean,
So Solo, you got a shout out from the crazy man.
I mean, it might be though, right? Like,
Well, again, similar to Jacob, it's like there's more inflections. Not so much just doing it for the sake of doing it.
mm-hmm.
Now, Cornette and those guys have always been more impressed with the bigger guys to do such moves, but still, it's like Solo been busting his ass the last few months, and he's only getting more confident, which is going to make him that much more better. So this stuff with him and his current bloodline versus Roman is going to get very good.
Yeah, this shit about
with
to pick
or
up.
without the Olafala. Even though a lot of folks are shitting on the Olafala.
Yeah, that's just a prop now. The way they just, you know what I'm saying? But it's
Well,
the
I mean,
intent. It's always the intent.
everything needs a purpose. If you don't have a title belt, a purpose, you go towards the personal, and then what's more personal than the family throne?
Mm-hmm.
Similar to Punk and the bracelet, you're essentially carrying a piece of his heart, part of his soul. But again, Triple H, he's making those stories work. It's just there's a few other stories that either don't need to be going on this long, and there's a few that need a little bit more TLC. But again, I agree with US Steak. It's like you can't afford to. This isn't the time to take your foot off the gas, especially now that you're in such a rhythm to where you have so many things on a conveyor belt. Just rotate that conveyor belt every few weeks. That way, you keep everything fresh. Don't stop and start everything else. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, they need to just keep. You know what I'm saying? I think they'll be good. It's just a little in between phases where we gotta wait. That feel like that slow down. That's the only shit I question because it made me feel like there's enough to not slow down. What's the
Right.
slowdown? That's the part I question. It's like, yes, I got
But
faith. I got faith. Yes, I know. I've been rocking WWE ever since. But I would like to know what's the slowdown when you got a whole bunch. It's kind of like the secondary. It's like the USA Olympics team, right? You seen how Kerr was rotating players. Like, all right, we're not playing in B, but we got Jason Tatum today and Halliburton, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like Anthony Davis out there.
and then you announce the day of the gold medal game. Oh yeah, Halliburton's been hurt. That's why he hasn't been playing. And then you ask why Tatum hasn't been playing, and you have no response for that. But that's a whole another can of worms.
Yeah, like, but with the star power, it's kind of like it should be entertaining and even if you gotta have your LeBron out there all the time, you gotta have your LeBron out there all the time.
or
Yeah,
in
I
case,
guess they tried that with
or
Sam,
in
but
cases like this where you have, like I said, the top tier stories, you have second tier and third tier. Now would be a good time to further push the second and third tier stories so that when you end the top tier stories, you can elevate one of these to that stop and that's to keep that conveyor belt going.
yeah,
But again, Triple H has been in charge 4.5 months. We could see he's got a rhythm. Maybe I don't know with him.
but yeah, for me,
I don't know.
Bro was like a 5.
Yeah, could have been so much better.
Yeah, it felt like like from 4 weeks of back to back, and then this is supposed to lead into another pay-per-view. I would have expected like 8 weeks of rapid,
And the PLE's in 2 weeks
right?
already. 2 weeks. You have
Like
two more
unless
shows to get your shit in gear.
yeah, unless something happens on the SmackDown side that's making me like, as of right now, yeah, they need more because I'm not sold on
Oh,
Gunther versus just Gunther versus Randy in this tag team match, this mixed tag match.
and here's my problem with the rest of this card. Why not just add the male and female tag titles of the card and just call it a day and
Mm-hmm.
build toward those stories? You have, I mean, you could have had, let's see, maybe tease Zelina and Liv for Berlin or something like that, and then you have re-interfere, some shit, whatever. There's a few things you could do to make the card more fulfilling, but now it's a little late for some of those builds because next year we're getting the women's tag triple threat match. I think this week or next. I know we're getting a tag team rematch on one of these SmackDowns coming up. It's not on the PLE. Oh no, we're getting the this week we're getting the finals of the number one contender match. I think next week's SmackDown we'll get the tag title match. So this week we'll get DIY versus Street Profits,
Well, back
and then
to back.
the winner gets Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu.
Crazy.
Hopefully that's in Berlin, but again with Jake's travel restrictions, his is probably more understandable than the women's tag match. But do something. Shit, have Andrade defend the speed title for all I care.
Man. Well, I mean,
Was that
shit. Yeah, I ain't got no more for Raw. They had me. They 3 hours tonight.
you sound like you about to just punch a wall after today's Raw?
Yeah, cause usually I'm happy. You know, today didn't make me feel that way. Like it was cool. It was cool, but
It was
I yeah. And then that's why
but
sometimes it's like, can you really blame like WWE is the only one that gets to get away with that excuse, and I guess TNA and whatever major want to keep up with the whole year long schedule, but realistically, that's just WWE doing that to maximize. Like you had Lucha Underground pre-record NWA Power episodes, like doing just fine. Like you know what I'm saying?
well, shit, SmackDown used to be pre-recorded.
Yeah, like it's just you know that excuse of, oh, we go year long and we gonna take a week off, or you just don't have enough content. Well, maybe okay,
It's
like
like
you said,
you did
that
this to
rotation,
yourself.
yeah, that conveyor belt. Okay, you
It,
don't
it's
want to
a,
burn out the top
it's an
talent.
easy fix. Just plug and play as needed. That's what it's
Mhm.
there for. But I don't know if this will ramp you up. But tomorrow night will be the final day of block action for the G1 for the B block, and then this weekend we will get the block playoffs. So far announced for the playoffs, Zack Sabre Jr. with 14 points, the all-around block winner, has a bye week, and based on the numbers, no one will be able to match his 14 points, so he's the overall leader. But this Saturday, you will have the Great Khan and Shingo Takagi renewing their rivalry. The winner will face Zack Sabre Jr. in the block finals for that bout. And in B block, you have everyone. There's, let's see, 8 folks still alive, but some folks need more help. If Jeff Cobb, Ren Narita, and David Finley win their respective matches, they will automatically qualify a piece. If so, David Finley will be opening the block matches against with his match against El Phantasmo. Phantasmo is already eliminated. If he somehow beats David Finley, that blows the entire B block wide open. Like if he was that match, that literally makes everybody alive. So that's gonna be the funny one to watch. But I don't see Phantasma winning. I don't see Cobb losing, and I don't see Renderer losing either. So assuming they all win, it'll boil down to the tiebreakers, which will be who has wins over who, and the next tiebreaker will be who has spent less minutes in the matches. And that will determine who gets the bye week and who has the playoff matches this weekend. But we'll have the playoff matches, I believe, Friday, the block finals Saturday, and then Sunday, the G1 finals. So we're down to nut cutting time.
Shit is picking up.
But Tetsuya Naito, he has broken the streak because the last two G1 winners won back-to-back years, being Kota Ibushi and Kazuchika Okada. He was the last person eliminated this morning, losing to the Great Okan. All Naito had to do was either win or force a draw, and he was guaranteed a spot. He ends up losing. So he misses out on being the third consecutive person win back-to-back years, and he missed out on being a record holder, being third all-time for most wins. But next year's another year, but him being up in the age, there's a chance that this could have been his last G1.
We gotta show out.
But also on the B block, you have Hiroki Goto at age 45. He's a former G1 winner already back in '08, but he is the oldest person in this competitor. And if any funky shit happens after he wins his match tomorrow night, he is still eligible to advance to the playoffs and be the oldest G1 winner. So there's a lot of shit going on. But one person who I was very impressed with was one of the debutantes in the B block, and Bolton Oleg. This guy, he's fairly new in the dojo system. He's former freestyle wrestler for I believe Kazakhstan. Just real quick breakdown of this kid and his progression with the dojo system. The only other person to climb the ranks faster than him is Shinsuke Nakamura. He's on that super fast track with this company right now. He was a champion before he graduated from the dojo. They don't do that with anybody. And he had a very impressive outing in the G1. He got an average 8 points this year, but again, you're essentially still a student, and you damn near advanced to the playoffs. So the future is bright for him. Yes, he just turned 31, but this is a guy that I would not be shocked that WWE has an eye on right now. Now, not a super tall guy, but pound for pound, move for move, he can do everything that Brock and Braun does. He's not as fast as Braun, but just as physical. Like that man, he's going to be something to watch for in the next few years. Hey, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Didn't mean to put you to sleep
Have my
there.
shit on. Nah, I have my shit on mute.
But as we wind down, you got anything else to toss in there?
Nah, I just hope that next week or like at least this Thursday, Friday coming up, that this SmackDown picks up. We need that.
Well, we'll see.
At least for the sake of the PLE. Start shaping some things out.
Because the only thing I care about on NXT tomorrow is Femi has an open challenge, and we are going to get an explanation as to why Wesley betrayed the Rascals. He broke the band up, broke my heart doing it.
Yeah, that was fire though. He had to make a splash. He had to do some crazy shit. Wesley did it.
But I do like the route they're going with it. When he has a knee injury, he's basically hitting them with you guys weren't there from when I was out. You guys were out doing your own shit. Did you guys call? No. You text? No.
Yeah, but I could see him running that. I gotta watch that segment all over. Cause I just been seeing the highlights really, but I gotta go watch that segment over to see exactly what was said.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens there. I know they got a PLE next month. I believe it's No Mercy, but so we'll see what sets up for that. Um, Joe Henry is still getting an abundance of love there. I don't know if you noticed, but Joe Henry post on Twitter on WWE section on Peacock, Joe Henry has his own section there.
Yeah, I seen that. Say his name and he appears.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So they see dollar signs out of him.
Damn, Randy signed a 5-year deal.
An extension?
Yeah,
God damn, how old is he now?
to
Let's
keep
see.
him there till 2029.
He'll be there till he's 50. I can see that. They'd be the last go around, whatever. But again, given the fact that he's still relatively healthy, I can see him ultimately passing Cena for most title reigns because he's that talented.
They keep putting him in these type of programs. He could definitely do it because he been around the heavyweight title scene. That shit they was doing with him and Riddle. Obviously, I mean, I don't know. He said he was doing it because he was hurt and shit. But if it was anything outside of that, then yeah, nah. That shit was just a
Well,
waste of time.
it's like what he said when he started his segment today in his promo. Today is the 20th anniversary of the first time he won the World Heavyweight title. You remember who he beat for that title and which pay per view?
Nah,
It was Chris Benoit at SummerSlam.
that's facts. Cause they always blurring that shit
Be-
out.
because that following Monday, Evolution turned on him. I ain't never forgetting that. That's when we first got the thumbs up, thumbs down.
I remember that part for sure. The match though, not so much.
I haven't seen that match in years, to be honest.
Then I felt like that whole time period when they tried to wash Benoit off, it was hard to find some people had it up, but it wasn't clean. Like, I like watching shit on the network, to be honest. Like, some people don't upload in the same quality, but you gotta watch it how you watch it sometimes. Like, fuck it.
And there was a time where all his shit was getting flagged.
Yup. Yeah, I remember that was weird too. Like, they was acting like TK taking down the AEW content.
Yeah, but again, that's one of those things where you can't really fault Vince for speaking ahead of time because at that time they legit didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, regardless of what happens, yeah, he did what he did. But I don't know about you, but I feel that him, the person, versus him, the performer, are two different things.
Right. Now, I mean that I be looking at it like that too. Like, what he did was heinous, but the cat, like, well, we grew up, we didn't know Chris Benoit and his home life. We knew the
And,
wrestler.
and, and another example I use is the stuff with the Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Before he passed, they tried to pin an old murder on him from him killing his girlfriend at a hotel or whatever that he was acquitted for, and then once he was about to stand trial, he died.
Yeah, facts.
So because he was about to stand trial, should we suddenly erase everything that Jimmy Snuka did? I know it's two different situations, but there's some distinct similarities between the two. So it's like it's one and the same to me. If we erase one, we got to erase the other, right? That's how cancel culture works.
I mean, then look at what they did with Hogan. They erased him for half a second. Like,
And then he puts out a very vague apology, and he's suddenly forgiven.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
Nah, it's
So
just it is what it is though. Like, you think the NFL taking away the Aaron Hernandez games where he played in like, know what I mean? Like, dog, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
or Ray Rice for beating his chick in the elevator, Adrian Peterson for beating his kids,
yeah, them games is still up. They still selling DVDs with Aaron Hernandez and the Patriots. Know what I mean? Even though they ain't win that year with him, I believe. But
or go further, Marty Jannetty to admitting that he killed somebody.
yeah, that's crazy, right? Man, lost it.
This is a
Like,
lovely way to end the show.
nah, I can see why people want to like cancel people and stuff like that for whatever, whatever. But you can't, like, again. I almost forgot who Randy won his first title against because of the blurred. They always in
Mhm.
video games and everything. You don't they don't show. They just show him hoisting up the championship.
It was Benoit at SummerSlam, which is insane.
And what I mean, to me, I guess it's like they hold a different relationship. But even if some of the dudes that wrestled with Benoit, right? Like, you would think they got the closest judgment, or like the closest to make that call. Whether, like, oh, nah, this dude was really a piece of shit. Like, we shouldn't even honor what he did in the ring. There's many of us that can do 10 times over. Nah, there's dudes
Well,
that
well, well
acknowledge
that's just
what.
the thing. Like a lot of those folks said that he kind of like shut everybody out once Eddie passed,
Mm-hmm.
so no one really knew what he was actually thinking. Like Chavo might have been the closest one, and he tried it, and he was still distant to everything.
No, what I'm saying though is, like, after he did what he did, right? Like, people that like other wrestlers still regard him as like a in-ring technician. Like, they ain't take that away from him. As like, where like a fan, people want to just, oh nah, we shouldn't even acknowledge what he did in the ring. And but them stories
Okay,
that
yeah,
they
yeah.
told, shit was different. Like you said, we were watching Benoit, the WWE wrestler, not Benoit, the family man that went home and did whatever
And,
he. You know what I'm
and, and,
saying?
some of us saw Benoit in WCW. Some of us saw Pegasus Kid in New Japan Pro Wrestling, the cruiserweight, the junior heavyweight standout.
Mm-hmm.
Some only saw the tail end in ECW.
That's the tough part. I mean, like again, we hear what Michael Jackson, all the stories about him. People still celebrate his music. Like it's just this ain't the first. It's just people. I guess it was shaking in the wrestling community to say the least. It shook the wrestling community. That whole I've
Yeah.
never in my lifetime experienced something like that. Like no lie, I'm gonna be honest. When that shit happened, it really felt like a real tragedy happened. And I'm not saying like it wasn't a tragedy that happened, but I mean like a catastrophe, like new
It
like
was
break
completely out of the blue.
yeah,
I,
breaking
I,
news, like
I always thought that he randomly missed a go home show, which he never misses the show. Remember when he died? They got the pay per view that weekend.
yeah.
Like that weekend, they was it December to December or something like that.
Mhm.
Like the show was about to go on. Like, and then everyone says what they says in that eulogy. But again, you can't fault them for not really knowing what was going on.
Yeah, that was like a real crazy time and if you want to add wrestling into sports entertainment, like that was a real crazy time in sports. Like it felt like the world stopped for them 48 hours for real.
Hmm. And then folks started learning the truth, which then folks then thought their own narratives, and it's like at that point, it is what it is.
Mhm.
But as far as that type of guy, did you hear about AEW's recent signee?
Nah.
Tony Khan just recently signed the son of the Dynamite Kid,
Oh yeah, I seen that.
and this man looks dead on like his dad.
Yeah, he do.
Russell is just like him too. So hopefully, now again, I don't mean reading, but hopefully he learns from what caused his father's demise, and he learns from Benoit, who ultimately Benoit treated Dynamite Kid as a god. Like that was his idol. Like hopefully he learns from those two guys. But if anything, AEW just do right by him. That family as a whole has gone through enough from dealing with Dynamite Kid's decline of health to Owen to them being close to Benoit, seeing that like they've seen enough. Like just do right by the kid. Just get him the exposure he needs. If he wants to stay with you, fine, but treat him right. If he wants to leave, let him go do bigger and better things, no matter where that be. I'm
AEW
not
don't
saying
need.
WWE. I'm not saying WWE needs to lock him down, but if he wants to stay in Europe, stay in Mexico full time, go to Japan full time, just let him do his thing.
Yeah, AEW don't need to have nobody else lost in the shuffle.
But he probably likely will. I mean, did you know that Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs are the Ring of Honor Trio champions?
Yep.
Okay, I
And
wasn't
they
sure
looking
if
for
you caught
more
that.
gold. But Dustin looking for
Yeah.
more gold too. Yep.
And Sammy Guevara is now part of their faction.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I'll wait for that.
Mm.
And it's like You keep him off the shelf for all these months, and like I said, like I told you in the text, the first thing you have him do is get in an angle against the Dark Order, one of your pillars. Does Mercedes have that much of a grip over you, Tony? Mercedes, when he apologized and he paid for his stupidness back then, was that not enough? Are you guys just that petty and holding grudges? You're gonna make him pay once again for the shit he'd already long apologized for? Because if I'm him, I'd probably told Daniel Garcia and other folks saying, "Hey, when your contract is up, let me know. I'm gonna tag along with you." Because they could be losing Garcia and Starks within the next few months, on top of Pentagon and Phoenix. Or excuse me, King Fuego and Rey Fuego. So now, if those four guys leave, how much more trouble would AW be in, or AW?
Shit, they gonna be done.
And you want to have them book the stadium that houses the Texas Rangers baseball team. You're gonna try to fill that. You just filled half of Wembley, and the show is in 2-3 weeks. Why don't you get Cowboy Stadium? It's twice the size.
For real though.
Talk about smashing WWE records. Go for the big dog. Go get the shoe at Ohio State. Get these stadiums that house 100,000 people. Put your money where your mouth is. You've been doing it for 5 years already. So we're either going to get that announcement this week, or we may finally get the media rights deal.
Man,
You see, Warner Brothers are $9 billion in the hole. They better be deeper in that hole because they're trying to sue the NBA.
yeah, they gotta do the most, man.
But I mean, would it be wrong to call this karma on AEW? All the time Sony made the jokes at Jim Crockett, at Vern Gagne, calling DX the bald assholes, calling WWE the evil empire, the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. Karma's a real thing.
Definitely, that energy is real.
And again, they've never recovered post Cody, Punk, and Jade. And again, it doesn't help that the majority of your staff wants to either go to WWE or go back to WWE. You can only your money to beg the mistake can only go so far. Folks are going to want to do something in the ring. They're going to want to earn the page, not just be handed a boatload of money just to do nothing.
But yeah, we gonna see definitely how shit shape out for TK, WWE, and all that. we got some more. You know what? What's today? It's just Monday. It's just Monday. It's just the start of the week. So
We shall see.
we shall definitely see, man. You got anything you want to tell the folks before we get up out of here?
Uh, we'll see what this week holds. I'll be looking at all the drama, all the bullshit. I will be heavily in tuned in the G1 and getting caught up with the N1. But if you're a fan of Japanese wrestling, you are not going to want to miss this week.
It's about to be turned up.
Hmm.
Well, y'all heard
Also,
it here.
also
Mhm.
breaking news: Hiromu Takahashi has challenged Mustafa Ali to a rematch. They last wrestled, I believe, in Chicago, and Ali had won basically by busting him with head open and letting him bleed all over the Chicago floors. He's calling Ali in DC at Capitol Collision. He
Let me
wants the
see.
smoke.
Shit, they gonna have to mark that one down. Ali been doing some good work too.
Yeah, he just announced that he's done with his obligations in TNA. Now, some are speculating that he wants no business with WWE whatsoever. So, folks are anticipating that he may make a cameo at Wembley.
Mm. Yeah, that'll be alright, I guess.
But he's doing too much good work in the Indies everywhere else. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think him and Triple H have any bad blood per se. He just wants to spread his own wings, but we shall see. He's an interesting case right now, much like Dijak, because Dijak lived on salty terms, but he was at the Rev Pro show in the UK at the Copper Box praising Shawn Michaels. So I don't know where everyone's heads lies and all that. That's maybe one to stretch their legs for a bit before they go back. Maybe they just want to stay on the Indies because they're happier there. But if they don't stay on AEW, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm.
But other than that, until the next one.
Yes, sir. Chat off the hip.